Welcome back to Good Geek Out. Good place to go to geek out. Today we're geeking out about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Revelation, Episode 2, titled Poison Chalice. This is Editor coming out of San Antonio with a bunch of friends. What's up, fellas and female?
Greetings and salutations from Las Vegas. Hot in hell still.
This is Jay. Scott is the He-Man of the X-Men from Los Angeles, California.
I was sitting with you all week. This is Rob from San Francisco. Oh man, great stuff.
Hi there, Nico from Vegas. Nico from Vegas. Nico from Bama.
And somebody got Vegas on the brain. Okay.
So here we are, Episode 2 of Masters of the Universe. I think last episode we discussed in detail about how this does or doesn't go along with the mythos from before. Maybe now we'll try to just actually discuss the episode at hand. So, two scavengers from the beginning of the episode who we see we don't know who they are yet. What we do know is the character that pops up, who is Stinkor. After discussing,
love me some Stinkor. I love Stinkor.
Smell.
As much as my mom hated Stinkor, I love Stinkor.
I used to always be told, don't open up the toys when we got home out of Toys R Us, because the weapons always got stuck in the cracks of the seat of the car, and she's like, don't do it. But I remember I opened up that one, and she said, what the fuck is that? We used to love to bring Stinkor to church. Southern Baptist, I was raised.
And being being black from LA, I didn't know what the fuck patchouli smelled like. I had never smelled patchouli oil before.
Mexican in Venice, didn't know what that was. I just knew it was offensive. Or it was different. Not offensive, it was just different, I guess.
But yeah, they did a great job presenting Stinkor, the whole rummaging around area. It felt very Eternia. Like they just had like these weird places. But I also thought it was cool how the two unknown people also had a very boosh look of Leia's look from Return of the Jedi, the bounty hunter that she imitates to sneak into Jabba's palace. I felt like that face mask was like very reminiscent of that. And then obviously it is revealed that it is Tila and her new friend. I thought it was a good holdout reveal.
Yeah. Her new friend.
Her friend.
Yeah.
Androgen.
Look, we're not gonna talk about that right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We're not there yet, but once it's revealed it is Tila, and we see this is her new friend Andra, and we find out that magic in Eternia is at an all-time low. So this is taking place after the effects of obviously episode 1. We don't know how much further into the future, but obviously it's semi-recent.
I'm thinking it's
years. I would say semi-recent
years.
Well, I was figuring that because in the episode they deal with the aging of Man-at-Arms.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like
years down the road or something.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like 10 years was my guess, but like 5-10 years now that I think about it, maybe. But
I'm thinking 5. 10 years seems like it's too long.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's 5 too.
Yeah,
it might be 5.
You guys are probably right, because magic isn't a thing anymore, and people would not forget magic that quickly. And in this world, people are doubting magic or doesn't think it exists. Kind of like the Force in Star Wars.
Well, I also think, I don't know. I'm like, I don't think that people would be scared if it dwindled over 10 years as I sit in a world that's on fire.
Exactly. People are fickle beasts. People are fickle beasts. Every 4 years we have an election. One side head explodes.
People aren't scared of COVID a year later. What are you talking about? Before we move on from this scene, did anyone know who the voice of Stinkor was?
I didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it either.
It's definitely Jason Mewes. You can. There's one or two things he says, and I'm like, is that Jay? but I didn't think it was because it's obviously Kevin Smith writing it.
Mm.
Like, why would he let him do it? And then I actually watched the behind the scenes thing, and it was him.
Yeah,
speaking of voices, I meant to mention this on the first episode, but I think it was a big pop choice for Cersei Lannister as Evil Lynn. I was loving that shit. I know that voice. I love that voice.
Oh, you talking about Lena Headey? You talking about Lena Headey? Oh,
Cersei Lannister.
Yeah. I'm using her real name. Yeah, Lena Headey. I mean, yeah, Miss Cersei Lannister. There's somebody else on this show too, right, sweetie? I mean, there's a trope going around.
Well, look, we already debunked that it's a trope, but still, why is it that every single time we see a black female, hello, Cree Summer, everywhere. Cree Summer everywhere. Cree summertime.
You know, I don't. Well, I mean, she's got the resume. There's no way that you walk into the studio and you have her next to you and you get the job. But I think that there is a problem with Cree Summer taking up every black female job.
That's what I am thinking.
Who do you have the problem with, though?
Other young black artists who have no opportunity to shine.
I mean, I agree with Strotter. I mean, there might be some other, female black.
There definitely is. Younger, you know what I mean? Up and coming that should get some shine. Yes.
Yeah. Listen, for Christ's sake, Cree is 52. Look, come on. I remember I grew up watching her on A Different World. I'm like, she's 52, man. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, she wasn't even my favorite. She wasn't even my favorite female on A Different World, but more story than that, but still.
But isn't that what we do these days? Too? Like even like how in sports, like all these guys.
Hold on. Are you angry? Hold on. Are you angry at her not being your favorite female? Like, what was that energy right there? Like, if she wasn't even my fucking favorite, she everyone trying to tell me that she's the finest. Like, get the fuck out of here, Jaleesa.
Because it's hype on her. There's so much hype on her.
Oh Jesus! So much hype
on
we go.
No dresses.
There's so much hype on her.
Stay on track. All right, next thing.
You got me off track, Strotter.
I think Mom was there.
So was it Jaleesa?
No.
No.
You'd be surprised. Tell them who my favorite female is.
The white girl?
I don't remember.
The white girl?
No. Nope.
No, if I'm not mistaken, it was Whitney. If I'm not mistaken, it was Whitney.
No, it was not. It was not Whitley. It was not
Kimberly?
No, it wasn't.
Kimberly?
Lady?
Hell yeah. Lady? I went Google Gaga over Kim. I wanted her so bad. Damn.
No,
I should have been Ron up in that. I should have been Ron up in there.
I remember having some big old titties back in the day.
I was gonna say that, but I'm glad the gay guy said it first. So this episode, Poison Chalice, really kind of opens up in a religious vein. And I know last episode we were talking about religion and Kevin Smith and dogma and all these kind of things. We open up with this cult of Snake Mountain and Triclops, of all people, leading it. The garb is amazing.
I'm not surprised.
It really brings you in.
I'm not surprised at all. With it being Triclops, I'm not surprised. He always wanted to be the main villain.
I think the Trapjaw was barely smarter than Beastman, but I think that Triclops had more ambition in the old one, and I fucking loved the casting on his voice and like the over-the-top mega church evangelical magic is dead, gotta get the mechanic and like the coding and the truth and just this idea playing with, and again, everyone knows I've been on a simulation kick lately, but them playing around with the different, what's the difference between worshiping these machines and worshiping gods, and like what's code and what is power. And again, they do fun shit to kind of like fuck around with these numbers. But yeah, Trapjaw's role, like it was all around like a dope scene to be set. They did a great job.
Yeah, it's a good exploration of what happens if Skeletor's gone. And
when magic is gone, you know what I mean?
That as well.
Teela was changed as a person as well too. You have to address that. Like she's totally on the tech side of things, and
that might be a big part of why people like who are older heads don't like this, is because they think all these elements of what they grew up loving are gone, but these are really the questions being answered that were asked when we were 6-7 years old ourselves. Like, what happens if Tila finds out who He-Man is? What happens if Skeletor is not? I mean, that's all it is. It's just exploring it.
And my point was just that people in general only want to be fed regurgitated food. You know what I mean? Don't dare step outside of the mythos stuff. That's why people hated the prequel. It ain't that big a deal. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be that mad at it. Just tell a little bit of a different story. You're not the artist. Like, it's somebody else's interpretation. I think it's good to take a chance. Take a chance. Play with some of these characters.
I think that the example of the prequel is a little off because there was so much lore already written, as opposed to He-Man, where the comics did exist, but they just weren't such a pop phenomenon that everyone was a bit.
The amount of lore written is further indicative of how much the universe had expanded.
Oh, I agree.
And we can all just like be, like an alternate reality or whatever,
I think that this did a better job staying true to its core source material than the fucking prequels did.
That was basically my point. Tila was very hypocritical in what she said. And when I saw it, it was just like, okay, there's no character development here. I feel like her character is regressing. And
I disagree. I think that that's actually supposed to be used as a mirror. I think that she's supposed to be the tech cult is supposed to be a dark reflection of her looking back at the abyss of herself and her tech obsession.
And to me, let's bring it on a little bit, in real life with religion, how Catholics think that they can make fun of the Mormons. You know what I mean? Who can make fun of Pentecostals? When it's all said and done, I'm not going to say too much because I don't need my clout involved when I say something about somebody's religion.
But the point
picking up what I'm putting down. You know what makes fun of the other. We need them all to make the world keep spinning.
It's basically two sides to every coin. You got the religious, and then you got the zealots, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing religious to a zealot. Yes, I am now turning people into cyborg type. I don't even know if I want to call them people.
And let's talk about how efficient those nanobites were. Those motherfuckers turned that dude into a cyborg quick. He had an extended eye. Like, there was no surgery or anything. He just flipped over. I really want to say, if that's not magic, I'm really impressed with the tech.
Listen, if I don't get my power, the nanobot would be a good little stand.
Can I say that?
Technically, when you think about it, it really is magic, because I honestly don't think those nanobots would have took effect so fast if it wasn't inside that cup.
I want some of that cup. I want some of that power.
Those are cool graphics. I really like the tech juice.
I want some nanobites.
Have it like spelled in like diamonds on the cup.
What I will say
and had it spelled TEKK
is in that fight. I think that they did a great job with Tila and what's her homegirl's name?
Andra.
Yeah.
Andra. I think that they did a great job with Tila and Andra's teamwork and like kind of like showing off their tandem abilities and like how they've survived. But Trapjaw catches it like for good, right? Like he's not getting back up.
No.
I think he's mostly mechanical.
I was thinking the exact same thing, but I don't. But wasn't
That's
he
what I
more
thought.
of a wasn't he more of a hybrid? No, more because I mean,
it was the first time. Okay, let me put it this way: she did a killing blow. If he died or not, that's a question for cartoondom. But she did a killing blow. And after seeing Mossman get fucking roasted last episode, I was just like, y'all are really doubling down on like fuck it, these characters are not coming back. We're not going to be using them again.
I thought it was very becoming that Tila, when she decided to go raid Snake Mountain, and she had a flashback with He-Man, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know about this," and He-Man was like, "I'll go if you go," which clearly we were seeing that He-Man, or Prince Adam, had feelings for Tila. So I thought it was really, really, really coincidental that, when Andrea was having her doubts, he was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to go." And, at first Tila didn't want to go, but then Tila changed her mind. I was like, "Well, I'll go if you go." Like, she's the He-Man now. And
oh my God.
That's what, I'm like, okay, fine. I get it.
No, you're right. That's strength in numbers, and it also actually keeps He-Man in this episode. So when people argue that He-Man isn't in the series, boom, there's your out for this episode. All right, so we also learned this episode about like what's kind of happened with the magic in Eternia, but not only that Eternia is the nexus for magic in the universe. It's somehow the center of the universe. It's almost what in the Middle Ages they thought the Earth was. I don't know if that's congruous to this, that it's not really the center of the universe, but they think it is because they still believe in magic.
It's not necessarily the center of the universe. It's more the lines of when Eternia
you can give them that bone. You can give them that bone.
When Eternia was made, it was the start of the universe.
Oh, I think that's how. Yeah. That makes sense. But the nexus of magic apparently might be true because it seems like when we see other planets.
Yeah, no, I definitely felt that the voiceover, like the godlike voiceover, implied that it was the center of this particular universe, not a Big Bang-esque thing. And I know that in old lore, like magic, like instead of having a molten core like Earth does, Eternia has a magical core, and those giant Titan toys were the guys who protected it. Anyway, Castle Grayskull was one of the outlets for, like, a volcano was one of the outlets for the magic, and then there was one that was on the other side of the world, but we never get to see it. So I think the concept of magic draining, and we see people freaking out over, like, people are addicted to magic in this world, right? Am I tripping? But like,
right?
I don't think they're addicted. I don't think they're addicted. I think it's one of the cases. We need magic to live, as in they're so used to using magic in their everyday lives, them not having magic to keep using it.
The magic, the religion, all of this ends up becoming a cult, and then there's this concept of what is Skeletor doing? Like, we see all of this breaking down because Skeletor isn't there. So also this concept of, like, what is the evil versus the evil that you don't know, also kind of getting out there, which I thought was, like, a cool thing to fuck around with. And yes, Lena Headey. Is it Headley or Headey?
Headey.
Lena Headey's voice is just magnetizing in throughout this. Like, I want more dialogue from her. Like, no one, it's very rare when you have such a good actress take something so silly so seriously. Yeah. It's like Michael Caine in the Muppets. It's like Michael Caine in the
I wanted to cut me out for some reason.
Well, Starter, she fits because, I mean, Evil Lynn is an evil. I mean, excuse me, I had a crush on her when I was 8. But anyway, look.
Here we go.
Evil Lynn was hot as hell. Yeah, she get it.
Ruthless.
Evil Lynn was hot. And
Lena Headey as Cersei Lannister, she knew how to turn it on. So when you put those two characters together, when you put that character along with Evil Lynn, like, it fits. Like, she's the persona.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think I agree 100%.
I assume you're right. I'm not a Game of Thrones guy, but I definitely felt the power of her voice and how well she represented that character. She did.
I will say, like, when it was all Game of Thrones hotness, and she came out in Dread as the big boss. And I did not want to like her in a non-fantasy role, and she blew me the fuck away.
She is so good in that movie. And again, her ability to take silly material and take it on a Shakespearean level and like just like get into it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
she's a great actress.
Yeah,
I know none of those references, but I agree with you in
why
now, so whoever's listening to this, you don't need to know any of that, but you know it's true.
In the need.
Now I do want to comment on one thing. That whole entire after basically getting back in the Castle Greystone, they showed the whole entire thing with, hey, you're doing this, you're doing that. Then all of a sudden Cringer comes up and actually acts sort of brave.
How so?
No, when have you ever saw Cringer jump in front of a moving weapon to catch it, to stop it?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think wait a minute, really this is supposed to be years in the future. Character growth.
Yeah.
Growing.
What Ty said.
Arms got old. He wasn't fighting at all. Tina grew up to be the boss because she was the captain. And she got her. And people grow up and they hopefully change and
And I think that it was a good way to kind of address, like, we're talking about questions that were never answered in the old thing. Like, He-Man seems like Prince Adam in a different body.
Correct.
Yeah.
Cringer.
But Cringer literally changes the core fundamental of who he is. So I've always wondered.
He's scared to become Cringer.
No, but that's the thing. Was Cringer the act? And like, was Cringer his Clark Kent? And he was just like, because you got to think, I don't see any other fucking Green Tigers in any other episode. There's a fucking 120 episodes and we never see a fucking another Green Tiger. So I'm pretty sure people should make the association that He-Man's one tiger might be Cringer, unless he acted like such a punk that people would never assume that he could be the tiger.
You guys know that that's something we give up as being like comic fans and fantasy fans. We have to give up that,
Mr. Trotter, what you said right there was right. I mean, he did act like so much of a punk. But due to what you said, Ty, yeah, you're right. It was character. I was going to say it, but you said it. It was character development. I mean, at some point in time, you got to stop acting like a coward.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get tired of being chased home. Shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this whole series is about growth and character development, and that's maybe why some people don't like it. But like, just like rounding out towards the end, we learn about the magic and Eternia and stuff, and the sword of power being broken apart. So now the quest has begun, the hero's quest, heroine's quest, to go get the two swords. And how familiar with you guys with Preternia and Subternia before this?
Not at all.
I was gonna say not at all. I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, I didn't do any of the comics, but I've done all the series.
I think Preternia I remember because that's supposedly where King Grayskull reigned, and that's where the castle comes from. That might be the only reference I have to it. I just paid $150 to get the damn mini comics delivered to me in one book. So I'll find out. But
so how many
reference I ever heard of it? I'm curious if it was just me or so nothing, huh?
I think they mentioned it in the reboot.
Oh, the 2001 series?
Yeah, the 2001 series. I think they mentioned it. I
ran through that once. I would also recommend people who have never seen the 2001 series that have seen the
for sure
5 series. It's a really good
it's
follow-up. It might be better than this in some ways.
It's good.
But it also has way more episodes so they can elaborate. But you learn a lot that you don't learn from the 85 series because it's very repetitive. I mean, He-Man literally does 3 action moves, all of the 85 series. There's a punch, a throw, and I think a hip toss. I don't know what the other one is.
Don't forget about the diagonal run.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best. Never know where he's going.
You actually get to see Skeletor.
A little blonde, fucked up haircut moving left and right.
There's a lot.
In the sword toss.
Yeah.
You actually get to see Skeletor before he turned into Skeletor. That 2001 series is very informative.
But So the episode does end with the Cringer speech, and then obviously the Man at Arms is going to be in the next episode, which is Strider kind of referenced already. So kind of to end this off, I did have a question for you guys. Were you aware that each one of these episodes has a movie reference, and that Kevin Smith has said this, and that episode 1 was Superman 2, and this one was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
The door shutting in the temple.
I think the whole religious zealot thing kind of as well. Yeah. And Superman 2 was Lois learning who Superman is, Tila learning who He-Man was.
Okay, for me, when you say Superman 2 to me, I say Death of Superman.
True, yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot, but no, you guys hadn't heard that. I don't know the other 3.
No. And he may be trying to give himself a little bit too much credit. Digging deep.
Yeah.
But
trying to validate bad, poor choices. I don't know.
Kevin Smith, you stop trying to do old brother, where art thou? We don't need no Odyssey and fucking Eternia.
Right, yeah. Do anything about the relationship between Tila and because I didn't see it until I got on the chat with you, jaded folks. I didn't even see it at all.
Oh, it's fucking.
I didn't.
As soon as you see Tila's haircut, you know what's coming.
I didn't. I'm not like one of these, like, scared of the lesbian people or whatever. I don't.
Scared of the
It's not okay. Look,
reading social cues.
First of all, because there are so many. Because people go to like. There's just some women who are like kind of just butch, like in that.
No, for
aspect sure. Or whatever.
That's a
like very much like
total sense.
Like our matronly and want to have kids. We're people. We're dynamic.
Yeah.
I know they tell you guys only Republican or Democrat, but the real shit that matters, ice cream. They give us 31 flavors because we're people. We're different like that.
Look, stop talking about things I cannot get.
No ice cream.
No 31 flavors inside the no, there's no 31 flavors inside the state.
That's because you're in Alabama, sweetie. I mean, in Hicktown, they don't have 31 flavors.
But they probably got like somebody like some like Aunt Maybell's like extra rich ice cream.
I think they were worried about
Midfield and Bluebell. That's it.
Oh, Bluebell is on fire though.
Bluebell's good.
I think they were worried about people in Alabama counting up to 31.
I mean, I don't like Neapolitan ice cream, but you can't find it anywhere in Alabama. The colors don't belong together. Sorry.
We don't even like it.
All right. On that note, the good talk, fellas. Can't wait to talk about episode 3 and see Man at Arms.
And lady.
Once again.
Your manners.
Sorry. Anyone who enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, geek on. Editor, San Antonio out.
Oh, I'm Bob. No, Boba Fresh, San Francisco. Geek on, geek out.
Nico from Bama out.
Ty Roberson, Las Vegas. Night.
Jay, Orko is still the best character of this show. We haven't seen him. From Los Angeles, California.